Our next speaker today will be Rachel Edwards. Rachel was taught behavioral science in a course by Howard Lees in 2007 when she was working in the rail sector. And she is a specialist in coaching. She's mastered the art of using positive consequences in her coaching, and her results are the envy of us all. Please join me in welcoming Rachel Edwards.
My talk today is going to be about extinction. So, I think one of the biggest barriers to successfully rolling out behavioural science in an organisation and experiencing all of the benefits that it brings is distraction. So, of all of the things that we have to attend to day to day, I think it's common for us to get distracted and fail to adequately reinforce all of the really critical behaviours that are then going to provide the necessary and the important results within our organisation. When people start to learn about behavioural science and do a course on behavioural management techniques, they learn something really interesting and something really different. So it typically seems like it's very little effort for really good things to happen in an organisation. I think the question is, have we figured out how to replicate that as the training moves through the organisation? So as we do a rollout, whether it's BMT rollout or anything else, have we figured out what the conditions are that we need to put in place to replicate that all the way through? The really successful companies that we've worked with have done exactly that. They've not just looked at the front end of what they're going to do at the pilot or at the first couple of courses. What they've done is figured out how to make it happen all the way through. So the scientists amongst you will realise this is not a real graph. It is a depiction, though, of what can happen if we fail to adequately reinforce behaviours that we want to see. It's really quite common in terms of after somebody has a really good idea, because most of them are, lots of really good ideas, we still haven't discovered what the formula is to repetitively get the results that we want when we're thinking about trying out something new. So I suspect that many of you are familiar with the idea of extinction and understand what it means in a behavioural context, but just in case you're not, extinction describes, it's really a process over time. So extinction is when there isn't adequate reinforcement in the environment for a behaviour to continue happening, so over time it fades away. Spotting extinction occurring in real time is quite hard to do unless we're paying attention, and of course that's unlikely to be happening because otherwise it wouldn't be experiencing extinction. And I think that's the extinction trap, the idea that by the time we recognise that something's gone wrong, by the time sort of unwanted results are popping up, it's already happened, we're too late. Oftentimes we deliver extinction without meaning to, simply because there are so many, in the complex environments that we work in, there are so many demands on our time and attention that it can be easy to be less strategic about doing the right thing. So I think getting some simple data is a really good way to help ourselves do the right thing, do the consistent thing. We've mentioned scorecards. So one of our clients is a big automotive company. They are using a BMT balanced scorecard to great effect. So the MD of this company got all of his people in and said, I want you to pick some measures that are meaningful to you in your depots. Can be results, can be behaviours, and we're going to measure them going forward, but it's up to you. And that's exactly what happened. So he talks to his people about it, but that's all he does. So they're responsible for collecting the data, which is easy to do. They're responsible for making it happen in their divisions, and they post the data, put it on the wall. So we set it up so that he's minimised his own input. So if he gets distracted on something else, good things are still going to happen. So really, really good organisations, projects, factories, classrooms have been set up by a leader so that there is very little uncertainty in the environment for the participants, for the people in that environment. Because I think uncertainty, just like distraction, is an enabler for extinction. So if people are uncertain about what's expected of them, it creates ambiguity, and then there's a whole heap of unwanted things that happen as a result of that. So I think doing our best to use data to be consistent in the way that we deal with people, deal with things, making sure that we are delivering the right kind of attention at the right time over the right things is a really good idea. So I think from a strategic point of view, if we're working in an environment which is loaded up, which is saturated with voluminous and dispiriting procedures, then what we're probably doing at some point is creating uncertainty for people about which is the most important. I think we should only put as many rules, regulations, processes, procedures into the environment as we can consistently respond to. So make sure we're reinforcing the processes that suggest there will be reinforcement, and make sure that we are punishing if that's what the process says. So if there's any inconsistency, then what we're doing is teaching people to discriminate between the ones that they think we're serious about and the ones that we're actually serious about. So it damages the relationship between punishment and R- going forward, so it just means that we're much, much less effective. Businesses that have been really good at using data and being deliberate about not putting things on extinction have done their very best to remove any daylight between what the learnings of behavioural science are and what people find when they go back into an organisation in terms of the existing processes and procedures. So have we set up the conditions in place where people receive the appropriate consequence for their behaviour, so shifting it to a consequence-based strategy if needed? Have I got some relevant measurement that's really easy to get hold of, which will tell me whether things are better today than they were yesterday? Are they worse? Are they the same? Have we done our very best to reduce any discrepancy between what we know to be behaviourally sound and what we've got? And have I lined up the consequence chain? So effectively, have I extinction-proofed this? So have I set something up that good things are going to happen whether I'm here or not? Because I think that's one of the fundamental things that we need to do in order to create conditions for success. Thank you very much.